a clamor akin to a scream.
How awful! Is this food? Cat food?
Voices rose. Sloppy rice, smashed tofu fragments, radish roots, all mixed into a mushy mess of rice. What is this? To feed my child something like this? My mother exclaimed angrily. Overlapping this voice was another. That's not okay. Even angrier, it was my husband's voice. Summoning up my courage, I responded. Mom said we should eat this during the winter. She told me to eat leftovers. She said it's a long-standing tradition in the Shaw family. Huh? But when I'm here, you eat regular meals, don't you? When you're around, we eat, and when you're not, it's leftover porridge. That's ridiculous. Mom, what are you talking about? Sawyer's tone gets even louder. My mother-in-law responds incoherently. Stop pretending you don't understand. I've never heard of such a thing. And I've never seen you, Mom, eat porridge even once since I was a kid. My husband's shouting grows louder and louder. Among the otherwise silent relatives, one person remained completely calm. Well, when you put it that way. My mother-in-law's sister spoke from the side. Sis, during the winter when your husband was away, you used to say how refreshing it was without him around, didn't you? You even ordered things like lobsters. Wait a second, lobsters? Lobsters? The whole room echoed with lobsters? You eat lobsters by yourself, but then talk about traditions and feed my daughter garbage like this? What kind of new lifestyle is that? Mom mocked, her tone dripping with sarcasm. This is. My mother-in-law stuttered in response. Meanwhile, the focus of my husband's anger shifted slightly. Wait a minute. What about Dad while I was away? Didn't try to stop it? This kind of thing? I was eating food. No, that. I'm asking, why didn't you object to Margaret being forced to eat this kind of food? Thunk. The table was hit by my husband, causing the water in a nearby glass to ripple. My father-in-law looked down and muttered weakly, I was scared. If I defended Margaret, I would be unplugged from the TV. Come to think of it, my father-in-law, like most grandpas, would always watch TV in the room after meals. But being unable to watch TV scared him. I can always set it up for you. I spoke up, and about the meat. At this point, I decided to expose everything thoroughly, so I dragged the garbage bin into the living room and opened it wide. The lid of the garbage bin was opened along with a foul smell, and on top of it all, there was marbled meat. It's too early for you to have prime-grade beef, she said, and threw away the meat. Marbled meat sitting atop the garbage pile. It had more impact than I had imagined once it came into view. Both my husband and father-in-law were wide-eyed and speechless. Seeing this, my mother dramatically writhed and exclaimed, Oh no, my meat! I brought it because I can't eat fish due to my fish allergy, and I was going to share the leftovers with my daughter to feed the baby. My mother also feels empty. She deliberately collapsed in tears. Or rather, she pretended to break down in tears. That's terrible! The relatives screamed when they saw the smelly trash and expensive beef thrown together, feeling sorry for the daughter-in-law who was often mistreated. Wait a minute. In that case, then it'll seem like I'm bullying my daughter-in-law. My mother-in-law shouted and stepped forward in front of the relatives. At that moment, I raised my voice. Mom, you're walking more than 5 steps ahead of Dad. My mother promptly interjected. Huh? What are you talking about? I responded. Don't walk in front of your husband. Walk 3 steps behind your husband. Don't walk in front of your mother. Walk 5 steps behind her. That's what I've always done. Mom always says this. That's because it's tradition. My husband now came forward. No. That can't be a tradition. Sawyer raised his voice. But Mom, didn't you always make Dad carry the groceries when you went shopping? He was usually the one walking 3 steps behind you, Mom, wasn't he? As if remembering, everyone nodded in agreement. Even the souvenirs.
It was always your husband who ended up carrying them.
Whispers like these were heard here and there. It seems the arrogant behavior of my mother-in-law was quite famous even among the relatives. So does that mean you've been setting up new rules quite a lot in the Shaw household? My mom stood up abruptly in front of my mother-in-law. Well, what's wrong with that? My mother-in-law retorted confidently to my mom. Is this what you call bluffing? My mother-in-law continued speaking. After all, since we took in Margaret as a daughter-in-law, she should follow my lead. Huh. My mother interrupted with a sharp tone. I never once said give her away as a bride. I said, I've decided to unite the two of them. The idea of giving and receiving brides is so outdated in this era of gender equality. With that forceful statement, my mother-in-law recoiled. It seemed clear that she was in the wrong. The atmosphere among the relatives shifted, with no one seeming to support my mother-in-law. In the midst of this, my husband spoke. He seemed to have regained some composure. It was a calm voice, but one could sense the disappointment in it. That's right, Mom. Why do you think I married Margaret? Margaret is a buyer and has a sure palate. She helped me think of sales pitches and catchphrases for my closings, and she also conducted tastings for me. The world has moved on from relying on tradition to get by. And yet, without even understanding that, you keep feeding Margaret nothing but porridge, dulling her palate. This isn't fitting for our household anymore. And more than anything else, it's your fault, Mom. And then the husband intervened between my mother and mother-in-law. To be precise, he stood up in front of his own mother more than in front of my mother. I can't forgive doing such things behind my back. If someone was bullying my wife or trying to dull her senses with leftovers, it's obstruction of business. And finally, my husband said to me and my mother, I'm sorry. Next time, I'll treat you and Mom to some prime-grade filet mignon. I want you to enjoy it to the fullest, and also have a wine tasting at that time. My mom responded, I won't settle for anything less than the meat I bought today. She laughed. In the end, my mother-in-law was kicked out of the house. To be precise, it was cutting ties from my husband. My father-in-law would be pleased if we added Netflix. He suddenly got hooked on Korean dramas and started learning Korean. I sometimes wonder what triggers finding a purpose in life. I took photos of the winter wine brewing process and started a website and blog. I wonder if the daily efforts are visible, and I also crafted the product descriptions. Both existing in-store sales and online sales increased, and the business expanded smoothly. Today, my husband invited my mother and me to a hotel restaurant to thank us again. At the meeting place, I opened my smartphone, looked at the screen, and spoke to my husband. Hey, Mom says she wants to have carpaccio and lobster because she wants to post it on Instagram. My husband burst out laughing. I thought your mom was allergic to fish. And lobsters, huh? Too funny. I have a stomachache. I burst out laughing, too, at the meeting point. Where did your fish allergy go, Mom?